Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's been a while. I don't know, the last time I uploaded a video was probably after the whole NSAS thing, I think. And from then I just went AWOL for reasons best known to me, or reasons I may talk about here. I don't know, depends on how this video goes. So disclaimer, this is probably going to be my most unfiltered video like ever, because I'm not going to even try to make it, I don't know, very appealing to people. There's nothing really interesting going on. I'm just going to talk about how my year went, and basically I call it the hustle is real. That's why I titled the episode, because that's just what this year was all about. So my year as a whole, if I look at it as a whole, my year was pretty okay. Was not much different from every other year. Of course, there were significant things that happened. There was not much different from that. So I'll just go through it, like just tell you my losses for the year and then my wins for the year. I think that basically covers everything, and I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to in 2021. So that's it. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Okay, so I'll talk about my losses, starting with this one. From the beginning of 2020, I struggled with like I had a sort of identity crisis where I did not understand who I was or who I am or something. I just lost myself basically, because some things changed in my life, some variables changed, some things I used to believe in, I couldn't believe in them anymore, and so that gave rise to like some sort of identity crisis for me, and it made it difficult to relate with my friends that I used to, people who I used to be close to, who I used to talk to all the time. I didn't know how to talk to them or how to relate with them, because basically I had changed, and so that time I couldn't really express myself much. So the only way I knew how to express myself best was to write. So I think I wrote 1 or 2 poems. I think I already released one. I kept one in my diary, and basically that was it. And during that time, I had taken up a new role as the CEO of DigiLaw. So it was a big struggle having to, of course, work and do the things I'm supposed to do, but at the same time, I had to, still be fine. And so my identity crisis led to some sort of mental health struggle for me, but it wasn't the kind that I look crazy or anything. I was just very detached from people. I threw myself into work, because I was like, I needed money to do this, I needed money to, and I was all about money and stuff. So that was it. I would call it a loss, I don't know. But then I think it's something that people struggle with at some points in their life, where you don't believe in the things you used to believe in anymore. And so because those things are a foundation of your identity or who you are, so getting back to like finding yourself again becomes a struggle, and so it's a whole process. So I had to deal with that. So the second biggest thing I had to deal with in 2020 was loss. So I'm not a person who deals with, like, when people die, my normal response is that, oh, people die, and I just like brush it off. I like create this logic in my head that people die is part of life, there's nothing to it. But in 2020, I lost someone who was like dear to me, who I didn't even know was that dear to me. Like that's the funniest part of it. And I had the weirdest response to it that I've ever had in my life. When people die, I don't cry. My mom used to say I'm heartless, but I'm not heartless. I just create like a logical response to it in my head. But I cried so much. I cried for days. I couldn't eat properly, I couldn't do things, I couldn't sleep, I was having nightmares, and it was really crazy. It was really crazy. At some point I had to drop everything. I went offline for like a month or so. Like I was online, I was on WhatsApp for example, but I wasn't really responding to people or anything. I just went off, and I had to, like, of course, get myself out of that, because in 2020 a lot of people died. And after that one death, of course, I reverted back to default setting about people dying. But I don't think anyone should. I think it's something that you will have to experience as a person, but I think that you need some sort of like preparation to deal with loss. I don't know what to call it, but loss is a crazy thing. So yeah, I had to deal with loss in okay. So another thing I had to deal with in that, I'll call it a loss, kind of. It is because early in 2020 I planned to like increase my income, but there were a couple of things that didn't allow me to do that didn't allow me to like increase my income. First of all, it was the line of work I was in. I used to work like as a freelance writer slash paralegal, so I did a bit of like paralegal work and freelance writing, academic writing for people, and it wasn't like the money I was making wasn't enough to cater for my needs, especially because I had to deal with like a lot of healthcare expenses. Let me just say this, kids, healthcare is expensive. Healthcare is a bitch. Like, you're just one sickness away from being poor. Like, apart from, of course, that we are default poor in Nigeria, but you're just one sickness away from having to lose all your money. So I spent a lot of my money on hospital bills here and there, drugs, pharmacies, this, that. It was a bitch. I really don't want to talk about it because it's not something that I've fully come to terms with yet. But maybe I'll just touch on it a little. So it was really terrible for me because I didn't even know that there was something called being gluten intolerant. I had known of being lactose intolerant, but I didn't know that there was something of being called like being gluten intolerant. So towards the end of the 2019, like in fact by the middle of 2019, I started developing these allergies all of a sudden. It was as if food wanted to kill me, basically, and it got worse. Like, it kept getting worse between 2019 to 2020, and it was terrible, basically. So I don't want to talk about the details of the experience, but before I would discover, so I had to like do a sort of self-care, like do research to try to find out what was going on with me. I had to speak with doctors because there was a lockdown, so I couldn't even go to hospital because I was scared of corona. I didn't want to go to hospital. I can't add corona to the list of my problems. So I had to do a lot of self-care, doing a lot of research, reading a lot of medical journals and stuff, trying to understand what was going on with me and going on with my body. So one day I'll talk about the struggles of being gluten intolerant and lactose intolerant in a place like Nigeria. So, but today is not the day for that. So I couldn't increase my income because I was spending a lot of money on that. And yeah, so that was it. And so it's one of the things that spurred me to action. That, you know what, I have to get into a better paying industry. Like, I have to get into a better. Of course, I already decided I wanted to go into tech. I already decided that, but it was just one of those things that pushed me. I said, you know what, I have to do this. So I think the last thing I'll talk about, I'll save my losses for 20. I don't want to call them losses, but I don't know other words to use for them. Anyways, for 2020 was struggling mentally. So for the most part, I'm an introvert. I don't go out much. I don't visit places. I don't see people. I don't have a lot of friends that I talk to all the time. Like, I have friends, but we talk once in a while and we are fine. We're good. So and so it's very easy for people not to know that stuff is going on with me, because I spend a lot of my time with myself. Myself is my best company. So as you can see, I look very tired. So, but in 2020, I was perpetually tired. Like, I was always tired. Because I have such a fine face and everything, it's very easy for people to believe that I'm just fine. But a lot of time I wasn't, and at some point I had to go to therapy. Yes, Black people do therapy, Africans do therapy. I'm a hard girl, yes, but I was struggling so much. I think I don't know. There was no diagnosis or anything, but it felt like depression, because I spent a lot of my time crying and feeling bad about a lot of things and everything, basically, and so I had to struggle with that. Like, I had to struggle mentally, because I was carrying so much at the same time. I was doing so much. I was always doing a lot of things at the same time, and so there's some things I want to talk about, but I can't talk about because they are deeply personal. But they led to, they're part of the things that led to my struggle mentally. But I can say I'm fine now after going through therapy and trying to do a lot of things to make myself better. So one of the things I tried to do was exercise. So that's why I started exercising more. I started doing a lot of yoga, because it was helping me to find balance and find peace, and just try to attain like mental stability. So yes, that was it for me. I think I can say that's those are the things that were kind of my losses. So okay, so let's talk about more happier topics. My wins. Yes. So I'll say that early this year, like around was it March? Yeah, April, between March and April, I applied for a scholarship. Basically, it's a new Nigerian university coming up in Nigeria, Nigerian University of Management and Technology, hereinafter referred to as NDTM. So I applied for a program. They're coming up with a new program called the NSP, where we're going to do a postgraduate multidisciplinary program in technology, entrepreneurship, and design. And since I was diving into tech, so I just thought that this is the best approach to the thing I wanted to do. So I applied for the program. Now, little story, before I applied for the program, last year I applied for Chevy, and I got a very big L. So I was very like resistant to applying for anything, because I just felt like it's just going to be another L again. Like, it's just going to be another L. What's the point? I don't want to cry. Although I didn't cry, but I just didn't want to feel bad about not, or why my application didn't get in or something. So I just didn't want to try. Then one of my friends, Lily was like, just try. Why you being chicken? You're not the type to be chicken about stuff or to be afraid about applying. So what's going on with you? Like I said, I was struggling with a lot of identity crisis then, so it's probably one of the reasons why I was resistant to applying. So she was like, she just pushed me like, do it. And then I told another of my friend about it, Abeke, and Abeke was like, do it, you're going to get in. This is what you're supposed to do. And I was like, no. I was dragging my feet about it, bro. So they kept texting me, have you done it? Have you written your essays? Have you done this? Have you done that? And they were all on my case. So I applied, basically, and I moved to the first stage. And when I moved to the first stage, I moved through the first stage. That's the second stage, the telephone interview. I was like, okay, all right. I was glad, yeah, but I was not so excited, because in my mind I was like, people are still going to give me an L eventually. Let me not get my hopes up. So I didn't prove, but I tried as much as possible. I spoke to as many people I knew, that okay, what happens in telephone interview? What can I do to increase my chances? Try to do some research, some reading, and all. I prepared, rehearsed, did all that. And when I did the telephone interview, it wasn't even as crazy as I thought it would be. Anyways, so then I moved in, and eventually I got in. For some reason I got in. That's the end of the story. So yeah, and that was that. And so I was very happy about it. Then we started preterm. We started the preterm in October. Yeah, we started preterm in October, and it was my God, it was intensive. So for those who are on my WhatsApp, you see me talking about doing management mathematics or financial accounting or finance. It was this program. It was this program that led me down that path, especially maths. I mean, I thought I had dumped maths in secondary school, only for me to come back and meet my nemesis here. But it was interesting because the things I used to struggle with in maths in secondary school did not seem such a big deal. Of course, I still struggled with it because I know, but it didn't seem like such a big deal anymore with patience and everything. I got the hang of it, and I finished the preterm successfully. I met the deadline. So yes, that's something to be very glad about. Then around the same time, because I had decided by last year that I wanted to like dive into tech. So I had started Python classes because I was really interested in data science, or I am really interested in data science and artificial intelligence, machine learning, that part of tech anyways. So a friend advised me to start learning Python. So I started learning Python. But you know how you felt like something was missing, like I like something is missing, like I don't have the right foundation. I felt like I don't have the right foundation. So then when the lockdown happened, it just destabilized me. I had to start again from the beginning. Like it felt like I was starting again from the beginning because I couldn't go to work, and where I was interning for my NYC program was where I was learning how to use Python, or learning Python. So I just like gave up on it basically because we weren't going to work, or I wasn't going to work anyways. And yeah, but I'll talk about this more. So yeah, the web dev classes. So I just decided that, you know what, I need to start from the beginning, but I didn't know how to start. I tried to Google stuff, I followed people on Twitter, but I still wasn't getting the hang of it. Again, thank God for Lily. Lily is a babe. Lily is a champ. So Lily sent me this link on Instagram. I'm not really on Instagram, but they sent me this link on Instagram, leading to an organization called Pearls Africa, that they were organizing this web dev, this 3 months basic training for people who wanted to get into software development. So I enrolled. Basically, you have to apply, then they pick you and stuff. I enrolled, I got in, and I told myself that, you know what, no matter what, from now till December, you must do everything to finish this program. So it became a struggle because now I had web dev classes that held morning to afternoon, where they still gave you projects to submit at the end of the day or by the weekend or something. Then I had NUTM classes to run. Then I had of course digital work, because I was still running the podcast. Oh my God, I've not talked about the podcast. Okay, I'm going to talk about the podcast now. So podcast was one of my wins this year. I'll call it a win because I felt like I was adding value. I was finally doing something for my folks. I didn't want to talk about it in the losses because it's not something that it doesn't really have anything to do with me, but it was really painful for me when I saw that my friends were stuck basically. So no law school, no NYC, nothing. They're just in limbo because of the coronavirus and basically I don't know what to call it, of the Nigerian law school. So I felt really bad for them. I wish I could be the kind of person that just moves on with their own life, like, and just forgets other people. Of course, I'm running my own life, but I just really, really felt bad for my friends. And then my business partner, we talked, and then he said, okay, let's start a podcast. Like, if we use the podcast to like create content that have to do with the law school syllabus, we can help people who are more auditory learners to pick up faster. And so we created the podcast, and we've been at it. I think we have almost 50 episodes now, and I am so glad for the consistency and everything. So back to my original story here. So I started web development classes. I was doing classes every day of the week except Saturday and Sunday, and even Saturday we had like other sessions on Saturday. Then Sunday was the only day that I kind of had a day off. But mind you, I still had NUTM classes where I was doing finance, I was doing management communications, I was doing a lot of things, and they were Harvard courses, mind you again. So There was that, and then there was digital work that I had to do, and I also had to feed. So because I have to keep working to feed, since I'm a freelancer, I have to keep writing, so that, because if you don't write, no money, no food. It's just that simple. There's nothing to explain. So I had to keep doing all these things, and the weight of everything was very crushing. I remember one time I called my dad to cry that, "Daddy, please, I want to die. Everything is too much. It's just too much. I can't take it anymore." So like I said, I struggled mentally. So that was part of the things, because I was doing so many things at the same time, and it was becoming a real struggle. I thought I was the queen of multitasking, but this was on another level that I'm not used to, that I've never had to deal with. So, but I survived. I finished the NUTM courses in time, although I had to drop some things. For example, I had to drop the YouTube channel. It's one of the reasons why I stopped producing content that had to do with my YouTube videos. Then I had to stop writing, so I had to leave off my savings. Basically, I finished my savings. Yes, so I had to leave off my savings. Then what else did I drop? I reduced my burden with digital work. I had to cut down on it a bit, because the weight was getting so much, and I just felt like I was crumbling and I was slowly breaking down. I felt sick a couple of times because of the workload. So it was basically too much. So yes, kids, don't multitask. Don't. So now I know I've digressed a little bit, just a little bit. Let's go back to the original story. So web development classes. So I had to do that every day. There I met some set of like really interesting, really smart ladies in Pearls Africa. We're able to collaborate on a project. I hope that we'll be able to like really work on the project till it's finished and then launch it. But that'll be like sometime next year, maybe middle of next year, if we are able to finish before then. So we're creating like something. I'm not going to talk about it. Something lip sealed on that. So yes, but all of us are ladies, which is the most interesting part. So it was like seeing like a powerhouse of ladies coming together in different angle of software development. So yes, that's it. And I was able to finish. So basically I finished 100 days of code, because I started out, I wanted to start the 100 days of code with Python, but like I said, it wasn't working for me. So but eventually I learned HTML, I learned CSS, I learned JavaScript, I learned PHP, all in the span of 3 months, and I was able to build projects on it, although they're not finished with it, because I am sort of kind of a little bit of a perfectionist. So I don't like the way they look at it. I still want to work on it, I still want to modify it. So when I'm done, then I'll create a whole portfolio page for everything and share. And maybe then I'll begin to talk more about helping people through their like web development journey. But I need to like, of course, get my footing in that first before I can help others, I think. So yes, so that's another major win for me. And let's talk about something. Major wins, like I said, was friendships. So this year, for a year where I spent most of it at home, although I mostly spent my days at home other years, but for a year where I spent a lot of time at home, I really made a lot of friends. So because it was my NYC, I had to move to a new state. So and I moved in with some couple of people I met in camp, and those people are the most wonderful set of people ever that I've lived with. They're funny, they're interesting, they're kind. They took care of me, because remember I said I was very sick. So but they were always there, they were always concerned, taking care of me. What's wrong with you? Let's do this, let's do that, running around. Those people are amazing. Mary, Boye, Coxon, Edet, our 1.5 roommates. Yeah, Edet doesn't live with us, but he comes around a lot. So he's our part-time housemate. Yeah, so they were wonderful basically. And then a couple of people too that were, he will probably know what this video, but Dunito was there. So like basically I made a couple of friends in a new environment, a new state where I did not know anyone, and they were really caring and they cared for me. So and I love them. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you so much. Then from the NETM too, I made a couple of friends from the projects, from the things we had to do, and I'm really looking forward to working with these guys. Like I'm looking forward to our year together in 2021 during the NSP. Like I'm really looking forward to the whole program with them, because I feel like it's going to be the time of my life, basically. So that's just it. So I'm grateful for friends, even my old friends. They were always there, calling me, checking up on me, sending me money when I really needed it. And so I'm grateful for all those people. Okwe, Doni, Abekemi, I love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you for always pushing me. Lily, my G, thank you. You guys are awesome, basically. Although I don't know if you're going to watch the video, but who knows. Anyways, so that's that on that. So my last win, which I'm going to talk about, is I'll call it finding my path, which is going to lead me to the end of this episode. One of the things I'm grateful for is that, as crazy as 2020 was, I found my path. I found what I wanted. Now I know that they tell people that follow your passion, this, that. I remember somebody saying that people who tell you follow your passion are typically rich people. If you are poor, you'll be thinking about passion. All you'll be thinking about is money. Makego, money. How are we going to make this money? How are we going to earn these dollars? Not all this passion. Passion what? Are you going to eat passion? So, but I can't say that I'm following my passion, basically, because I don't exactly really know what is my passion, to be candid. I think that people tell a lot of lies. I don't know what exactly is my passion. I would say that my passion is making money. I want to be rich, but I know the things I care about. I know the things that gets me tingly. I know the things that gets me interested. I want to know, okay, what's happening there, and that is, for me, that's tech. So I've not fully figured out what exactly I want to do in tech, but I have an idea, and that okay, this is where I want to be. This is it for me. Like, this is the path that I intend to follow. And so that's one of the things I'm glad about. So from what happened in 2020, for me, it's just another day in the week, to be honest. January 1st, just another day in the week. So I'm just going to another day in the week. Like, we're just continuing the journey, basically. So by next year, I'm going to continue with my NSP program. We'll be resuming, and then within a lot of things that will be like, let me use the word, taking me deeper into this tech world. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the prospects for that. I'm excited to what is to come. I really hope to increase my earning power by next year, at least by the ending of next year. I must. That is one of the plans I have for this year. I'm not going to share my new year. I don't even have new year resolutions. That's I don't have. I've refused to write anything. I'm vibing and doing inshallah into the year. Of course, there are some things I want, a few things that I want, but I'm just cruising through the year. It's funny, yes. Or someone like me who likes to plan everything. It's just 2020 just made me feel like, what's the point? What's the point of planning all these things? So yes, so that's my year in review. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found something to relate to or learn from. I don't know what's the plan to get from this, but today I'm doing this because a lot of people were like, you have to do a year in review, especially for my YouTube channel. People were interested in the YouTube channel, like, oh, why haven't you put out the content? Why haven't you put out content? Why haven't you put out a year in review? As you can see, I'm tired. I look like I just woke up. I'm not going to tell you if I just woke up or not, but yes, you can see the dark circles around my eyes because I haven't been sleeping well. But basically, this is the end of it. This is the end for this year. Expect a video sometime in January. I don't know when, but sometime. By then, I'll be in a new environment, a new place. I'll be telling you about that later. But till then, see ya. I love you. Happy New Year.